Give me 1 second, guys. We will be starting very, very soon. In the meantime, please continue to share the Zoom information with those who would like to travel to
Give me one
another.
second, guys. We will be starting very, very soon.
All
In the
right.
meantime, please continue.
Oh, there you go. And click. And this is a presenter view. And we're going to move this here. And we're going to do full screen. Okay. Okay. I think we are good to go. We are already in YouTube, and I'm going to be sharing Safari, and boom. Are you able, friends, to see my screen? You can give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you able to see the screen? Okay, at least thumbs up. And what you're not seeing is myself. You're not seeing myself, and you're going to see me now. Does this look Greek to you? No? Yes? Please don't laugh. Okay. I get some comments. Okay, so you guys are able to see me and everything looks good. All righty, here we go. Let's get started. Hello, friends. My name is Talon Acosta. I'm going to be your tour guide for the next hour and a few minutes. The name of the tour tonight is Tour of Greece, Experience All Ministry. And we're going to do this via land, and also we're going to go on a cruise. Yes, that's absolutely right. We're going to go on a cruise. So to get started, I would like you, friends, to imagine walking through the very streets that the Apostle Paul preached. And you can see that on the screen right now. Can you picture yourself there? Can you picture yourself standing where early Christians gather? And can you see the landscapes, the shape that actually was part of Christianity? Do you see yourself? Apparently, some don't see themselves. All right, it's okay. I want you to see yourself, because if you come with us as a group, Greece will no longer be just a vacation. It will be a faith strengthening journey through the pages of the Bible. If you ever wanted to bring the scripture to life, this is your opportunity. Imagine walking through the footsteps of the Apostle Paul, the very places that he went preaching, where he established congregation, where he strengthened early Christian brotherhood. As Jehovah's Witnesses, we have a unique opportunity to bring the scripture to life on an unforgettable 11-day tour through Greece and Ephesus. I'm thrilled to invite you to join me and my wife on this spiritual adventure, where we will explore historical sites tied to Paul's ministry, and also we're going to deepen our appreciation for Bible inspired record. Why would you travel with us? Well, our itinerary is completely Bible based. Every site we're going to visit is connected to the ministry of Paul and other early Christians. And we're going to see the connections between the scriptures and our understanding. The best part of all is not the tour guide, it's not the place, it's the fact that you're going to be surrounded by like-minded association. Imagine eating, drinking, walking, talking with other people who think like you, or who are attracted like you to spiritual things. We plan this trip to be completely well organized, completely stress free. We take care of the detail so that you can focus on the experience and strengthen your own faith. What are some of the places that we're going to visit? We're not going to go to all the places on the map, but we're going to go to all the places in Greece. You see, this trip is going to be divided into two. The first part will be Greece. And next year, the next part is going to be Turkey. So, where are we going to go? We're going to start in Athens, right? And from Athens, we're going to take another plane and we're going to go to the first city where Paul actually baptized someone who will become the first Christian in Europe. After that, we're going to take a bus and we're going to go to Thessalonica. We're going to go to Berea. We're going to go to Corinth. And from Corinth, we're going to go back to Athens. And from Athens, we're going to take a 3-day cruise that's going to bring us to Ephesus, that's going to bring us to Rhodes, to Patmos, Santorini, and back to Athens. Are you guys ready? Do you have your passport? I hope you do, because you're going to need it. Anyway, from New York, from New York, the flight is going to take close to 10 hours. If you are on the East Coast, it's going to be close to 10 hours. If you're in the middle of the country, it will take a little bit more. If you're on the West Coast, obviously it's going to take even more. And as people are buying this trip, we're going to organize all the people who are going to travel together so that you don't travel by yourself, so that you're always surrounded by someone. Anyway, where are we going to meet? We're going to meet in Athens. Well, not here. We're going to meet you at the airport. Yes, we're going to pick you up at the airport. I know it's a foreign country. We don't even speak Greek. They speak some English, but when you see a familiar face, boy, are you going to relax? Are you going to say, okay, I'm home. I'm home. I have nothing to worry. So the first day, we're going to be walking around in Athens and we're going to be mesmerized by how much Bible history this place have. We're going to have the best goat cheese ever, the best Greek salad, the best gyro. Oh, this tour is not just about the places. It's also about food, dancing, and drinking. You see, the Bible says that in the statue, Greece was the arm. And talking about the arm, we can understand why Paul spent so much time in Greece. Can anybody give me a hand and help me read what you see there on the screen? And the section is, did you know? Let's ask a Greek to help us read this. Ernest, por favor.
Paul visited several Greek cities during his missionary journeys, spreading Christianity. His presence in places such as Athens, Thessalonica, Corinth, and Philippi is mentioned in the Acts of the Apostles.
Yeah. Imagine reading about them, but walking in those cities. And we're going to show you some incredible places that is going to fortify your faith. Let's ask Caleb or Casey to read the second. Do you know?
Greece has 27,759 evangelicals and 345 congregationals of Jehovah's Witnesses, which equates to a ratio of one Jehovah's Witness for every 379 inhabitants.
Thank you. Thank you, Caleb, for that good reading. So there you have it. We know the ratio. Are we going to preach there? Maybe if you want, we can make it happen. There's nothing like preaching where Paul preached. There's nothing like meeting the locals like Paul did. One more. Do you know? Let's talk about the Greek language. And we're going to ask Monica from Boston.
Okay, thank you. Okay. The Greek language became the primary language of the New Testament. Although Jesus spoke Aramaic, the Gospels and other letters of the New Testament were written in Greek, allowing the Christian message to spread throughout the Mediterranean world, including Greece.
Question for the audience. Is this coincidence or is it divine intervention? Is it coincidence or is it divine intervention? What was so relevant about the Greek language? Caleb, do you know?
Could the answer be divine intervention?
Well, how do we know? Thank you, Casey. Shannon.
Yes, it's divine intervention because at that time, at the time that the scriptures were the New Testament, as the world refers to it, at the time that the Christian Greek scriptures were being written, Greek was one of the major languages spoken.
That is correct. That is correct. If we were to compare the Greek language to another powerful language today in the world, what is the closest language in terms of popularity to Greek? The Old Britain family.
I believe that would be Spanish.
Oh, thank you. I am flattered. You're going to see why. Clarence, what do you think?
I think it will be English.
English. Even though there are more people that speak Spanish in the entire world, the language of business transaction or the language of influence is English. And that's what Greek was in the first century. Alexander the Great made it very easy to cover a vast land of territory because the Greek language came with Alexander the Great. And now the Christians will follow. But there is one more thing. What was the first Bible translation registered according to the Bible? What was the first Bible translation? And the answer begins with the letter S as in the first Bible translation begins with the letter S as in Mary.
Is it the Septuagint?
Septuagint. Very good. Very good. It was the first Bible translation from Hebrew into Greek. Another question for you guys. The book of Matthew, was it written in Hebrew or was it written in Greek? The book according to Matthew, gospel according to Matthew, was it written in Hebrew or was it written in Greek? Let's ask Tony.
It was written in Greek.
All right. All right. Anybody else want to take a swing? I mean, I gave you two choices, so if that's not the one, then the answer must be in Hebrew. The book of Matthew was written in Hebrew, but then later translated into Greek because the language was so popular. LaRonda, could you read the text on the screen about the Apostle Paul?
The Apostle Paul had a very close relationship with Greece, as it was one of the first places where he preached Christianity outside of Israel. During his missionary journeys, he visited several important Greek cities and wrote letters to some of their congregations, which are now part of the New Testament.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Anyway, let's go back to the map. What does the map tells you? Just by looking at it. What does the map tell you? Come on, people. You need to love maps. What does the map tells you? And I'm looking for new hands. I want everybody to participate. I want everybody to have fun. I see you, Clarence. I see you, Laronda. There you go. Barbara, what does the map tells you by that little guy?
That he went from Thessalonica, Ephesus, all of those cities that are now Bible books.
All right. All right. Oops. I wanted to show you something. This is the guy that I was talking to you about. You see it? And you see the arrow? What does this mean?
Oh, yes. Okay.
You want to take another swing?
No.
All right. All right. No problem. Never stop learning. Let's call Carl Hamilton.
It seems to go around in a circle. Well, sort of circle.
Exactly. This is the place where Paul will start to preach the good news, but for some reason, the Holy Spirit did not allow him. Let's read that together. Let's go to the book of Acts, the first year book for Jehovah's Witnesses. The book of Acts, chapter 16, and we're going to read verse 1 to 3, and Rita is going to read it for us.
So he arrived at Derbe and also at Lystra, and a disciple named Timothy was there, the son of a believing Jewish woman, but of a Greek father. And he was well reported on by the brothers of Lystra and Iconium. Paul expressed the desire of for Timothy to accompany him, and he took him and circumcised him because of the Jews in those places, for they all knew that his father was a Greek.
Very good. So the map that I was showing you earlier is the beginning of Paul's ministry, but he found who in that city? Who's that young, beautiful man on the, well, actually, this is artificial intelligence doing a rendering. Sherry Collins. Who is this guy?
That's Timothy.
Timothy, exactly as the book of Acts, chapter 16, verse 1 to 3. Boom. So there you go. Between Derbe and Lystra, Paul found Timothy, who will now accompany him to different territories. Now, friends, why is this guy pointing here? What does that mean according to the Bible? Monica, I already called you, so we're going to give other people opportunity. Claudine, why is that guy right here?
He's pointing Macedonia where he had the vision.
All right, let's check that out. Who can help me read Acts chapter 16, verse 8 and 10? Tamara. And friends, this is just an example of what we're going to be doing when we're there. You're going to be taking your Bible and we're going to be reading about the places where we're going to be standing. Can you imagine that? Tamara, please read to us as if you were standing in Macedonia.
So they passed by Mysia and came down to Troas. And during the night, a vision appeared to Paul. A Macedonian man was standing there, urging him and saying, "Step over into Macedonia and help us." As soon as he had seen the vision, we tried to go into Macedonia, drawing the conclusion that God had summoned us to declare the good news to them.
There you go. So this picture just show you that we're going to go into Macedonia and we're going to be there and we're going to see what Paul saw. This is a poor rendering using artificial intelligence. There's a lot of inaccuracy on this bed. This is too modern, but you get the point. I asked artificial intelligence to draw Paul and what that may have looked like. So let's see, what is the first city that Paul and his companions are going to go to? Can anybody help me read verse 11 and 12? Tony Caballero, por favor.
It says, so we put out to sea from Troas and made a straight run to Samothrace, but on the following day to Neapolis, and from there we went to Philippi, a colony which is the principal city of the district of Macedonia. We stayed in the city for some days.
Oh, goodness. That seems that it's going to be describing what we're going to be doing. So Paul leaves for the first time in history. This is called Asia, right? Asia Minor. And he crosses from Troas and he visits what today we will call Europe. And the first city, even though it's a bunch of I, is pronounced Philippi, the first city where Paul will preach. And as the map says, this is his second missionary journey. Bonus points. Bonus points. Who is this city named after? Who is the city of Philippi named after? And if you have attended my tours, you should know the answer. Let's see. Caleb, you think you know?
Could it be Emperor Philip?
Emperor Philip. Okay, can you give me a little bit more? Who was he the father of?
I don't know. Sorry.
But you're very close because he was kind of like an emperor, like a king or something like that. But that's not what I want to highlight. Who was Philip the second, the father of? Come on, people. Don't let me down. Let's call Tony or Kat or Laura or Cindy.
This is Alexander the Great's father.
There you go, Alexander the Great. Why is this relevant? It is super relevant because it is from here. Oops. It is from here, from Macedonia, that Alexander the Great, at the age of 23, is going to come and conquer all this land, going all the way down to Alexandria and Egypt, and then going all the way east, all the way to India. But there's another interesting story as to why we need to go to Philippi. Who was the first European baptized person or baptized by the Apostle Paul? You can put it on the chat. Put the answer on the chat because this one should be a lot easier. And after I see a couple of answers, I'm going to move on to the next page. I see 1, 2, 3. Okay, you got it. You got it. It was Lydia. And does anybody know why I picked that color? Why did I pick that color? Raise your hand. Let's call Carol. Carol, please don't let me down.
Lydia was the seller of purple.
There you go. Where does it say that in the Bible? Can anybody help me read Acts chapter 16, verse 13 to 15? And I'm looking for new hands to give everyone an opportunity. Acts chapter 16, verse 13. And please notice that I ask artificial intelligence to give Lydia a purple dress. Robin, could you please help me read Acts chapter 16, verse 13 and 15?
Okay. And a woman named Lydia, a seller of purple from the city of Tyre, and a worshiper of God, was listening. And Jehovah opened her heart wide to pay attention to the things Paul was saying. Now, when she and her household got baptized, she urged us, if you have considered me to be faithful to Jehovah, come and stay at my house. And she just made us come.
Mm-hmm. There you have it. Artificial intelligence allows you to draw a picture of what that event may have looked like. Of course, we don't know exactly the place on that river where she got baptized, but hey, to be close there, to be walking in the city of Philippi, that's going to be a number or two. That definitely is going to help us to get into the story as to when Paul and Silas were in prison. Do you remember why they went to prison? I'm asking a lot of questions today. Why did Paul and Silas ended up in prison in Philippi? Let me show you a picture and let me show you a text. Anybody? Casey?
This might be a guess, but they were in prison because they were preaching the good news.
They were preaching the good news. That's correct. But they got in trouble for one more thing. In addition to preaching the good news, they did something that brought a profit loss to the owner. Let me see. People are quiet today. Maybe they need to get more coffee. Yeah, I already called Shannon. Let me call Jennifer. Jennifer, why did Paul and his companions were thrown into prison?
Paul, he got rid of the demons out of a girl.
There you go.
He
Got
prophesied.
out a demon of a young slave girl, and this angered their masters because they lost a lot of money. Because of that, they whipped them and they threw them into prison. And that's what Acts 16, verse 22 to 24 and 31 to 33. But we know how they got out, right? There was an earthquake. Ta, 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 ta. The point of the matter is, we're going to be seeing all of that. Then from Philippi, we're going to go to Thessalonica. In Thessalonica, it says that they now travel through Amphipolis and Apollonia and came to Thessalonica, where there was a synagogue of the Jews. Of course, Paul was always looking for an opportunity to preach. And we're going to go to the Archaeological Museum of Thessalonica. We're going to see the forum or the theater that Christians may have used to distribute the good news. And you're going to see the synagogue that the Bible was talking about. And friends, those things right here on the side, those are merchants. You see, right outside of a synagogue, there were a series of businesses right along the synagogue. What type of things were these businesses selling that may be of interest of those going into the synagogue? Tony or Kat or Laura or Cindy?
I believe they were selling idols and little gods.
Okay. Think about it. The businesses were connected to the synagogue. Let's ask Rosie West.
They were selling animals to be sacrificed.
There you go. They were selling animals because when people approach, they say, your animal is not good. You need to buy our animals. And that money that you brought, your money is not good. You need to buy our money. That's why businesses around the synagogue used to belong to the family of the main priest. Anyway, Paul, the Bible says, also preach in the market. How do you say market in Greek? How do you say market in Greek? It begins with the letter A, as in market in Greek. You think I was going to say that, huh? Let's ask Deborah Warren.
Apartments.
Apartments. Okay. Nice try. Yvonne.
Agora.
Agora. Exactly. Agora means marketplace. It also means fear of being where there are a lot of people. Thessalonica is a beautiful city. It used to be a Roman colony. That's why it's very modern, very pretty, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, the people of Thessalonica were crazy and they wanted to kill Paul. So Paul now moved to Berea, where the Bereans are known for what? What are the Bereans known as? Barbara Mojo.
Yes, the Bereans was known for being diligent studies of the Bible, and they searched the scriptures to see if everything was so.
There you go, Barbara. You knocked it out of the park. Acts chapter 17, verse 10 to 13, it says that Paul and Silas arrived at night at Berea, but upon arriving, they went into the synagogue of the Jews. Now, these were more noble-minded than those in Thessalonica, for they accepted the word with the greatest eagerness of mind, just as Barbara mentioned. However, in a few hours, a few of the reputable Greek women, as well as son of men, da, 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 da. There you go. They came there to incite and to agitate the crowds. And Paul, once again, artificial intelligence. I got the fingers wrong. Look at this guy, only 3 fingers. But that's the problem with artificial intelligence. And Paul looks kind of young. He was a little bald. But anyway, you get the point. The Bereans, they were good people. But the Thessalonians, they were crazy. So we're going to leave Berea and now we're going to go to the city of Athens. The city of Athens. Of course, Paul took a boat to the city of Athens. We're going to be riding on a bus so that we can enjoy the scenery. And Paul will be in Athens, and he's going to wait for Silas and Timothy to join him. And when we are in Athens, we're going to enjoy a city full of idols. But now you can actually understand how Paul may have felt the first time that he arrived, the first time that he went to Parthenon and the Acropolis, the first time that he went to the Agora. Now you're going to see or learn about the goddess Athena when we go to the museum. You're going to see the size of that statue. You're going to see the grave of the unknown soldiers. You're going to see a lot of interesting things while we probably are going to have a beer, while we probably are going to have a lamb gyro. If you are a meat eater, if you're a vegetarian, you're going to have a vegetable gyro. We're going to have a good time. We're going to be in Athens. And this is where our hotel, the main hotel, is going to be at. Beautiful city. I'm pretty sure that while being there, you're going to remember all the things that Paul went through. But what you probably remember is that talk to an unknown God. Can anybody help me read this section? Do you know? And I want to give someone an opportunity to read. And let's call on Stephen Dunn.
In the book of Acts, the Apostle Paul is described as preaching at Areopagus in Athens, a famous meeting place for Greek philosophers. During this speech, Paul made reference to an unknown God, thereby connecting Greek philosophy to the Christian message.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Stephen. I always enjoy your good reading. So, friends, you know the account. The place is full of idols. Paul is trying to look for a common ground. He gets in trouble because he started talking about something that no one has heard of. And in that process, he probably praying to Jehovah and saying, what am I supposed to say to these people? I heard that they kill people that talks about God that they do not know. And what you see right now there on the screen is my good friend Jose, who went to visit Athens. But what you see there on that metal plaque is the entire talk by Paul. Acts 17, verse 22, and then verse 32 and 34. Simply amazing. The trip to Greece is also going to allow you to enjoy nature. It's a beautiful, fantastic scenery, full of hills, all building and new building. Friends, you're going to have a fantastic time. We're going to go to a famous place that is connected to Bible history. And for that, we need to go to the city of Corinth, where Paul will spend the longest time. He spent 18 months strengthening the congregation. It's not a surprise why he will write the first letter to the Corinthians and then the second letter to the Corinthian. And here is some artificial intelligence to give you an idea of what that place may have looked like in the first century. Please understand that the Greek word for agora was the heart of the public life in ancient cities and states of Greece. Its main function was to serve as an open space for political, social, commercial, and religious activity. In the city of Corinth, you're also going to see an area where Paul may have met Aquila and Priscilla, where both of them will work together as tent maker. And you're going to see that together. Okay. And you're going to see a bunch of ruins. You're going to be there. And you're going to learn about something that happened to a Christian. Can anybody help me read Romans chapter 16, verse 23? Isabella Dunn.
Gaius in host to me and to all the congregation. Greetings to you. Greets to you. Erastus, the city treasurer. The city treasurer greets you, and so does Quadratus, his brother.
There you go. And you can see the names actually there on the screen, exactly as Paul mentioned. Erastus is mentioned in the Bible in Romans chapter 16, verse 23, as we read here, and possibly on the second letter to Timothy in chapter 4, verse 20. He was an official in Corinth who played an important role in early Christian community. The Apostle Paul describes him as the city treasurer or public administrator. This detail connects him directly to a significant archaeological find in Corinth. And we're going to see that as well. Well, friends, now we will cross into the modern day Turkey or Turkey to visit Ephesus. And we're going to do this on a cruise, not like the Apostle Paul, right? On a real cruise. This is how Paul may have traveled. Please notice that there are no seats, no seatbelt, no nothing. And let me show you what your cruise is going to be like. Look at that. That is traveling in style. All of our rooms are exterior. Exterior in the United States is called Ocean View. Is the one with the little circles on the side. Okay. Interior has no window, but exterior have the ability to look on the outside. So we're going to ride in style, but it gives us an idea what Paul may have gone through. And when we get to the city of Ephesus, we're going to be blown away because Ephesus was where another Christian congregation was established in the first century. The Apostle Paul spent more than 2 years in Ephesus during his third missionary journey. And the city was an important center of spreading Christianity because of its strategic location. It was near the sea and a cultural hub in Asia Minor, as I mentioned before. So, how is this going to happen? Well, you're going to travel from New York, from the United States, and we're going to land in Athens, right? And we're going to rest. And the next day, we're going to take another plane and we're going to go to Philippi. In Philippi, we're going to take a bus and we're going to go to Thessalonica. We're going to go to Berea. We're going to go back to Athens. We're going to go to Corinth. And then we're going to take a cruise, a 3-day cruise to Ephesus, Patmos, Rhodes, Santorini, and back to Athens. I promise you, friend, it's going to be a fantastic trip. There is so much that we have to show you that there is simply not enough time. But last but not least, we are going to visit Bethel, the branch of Jehovah's Witnesses in Greece, where we have a couple of friends. Friends, in addition to all the Bible lands, we're going to go to some unique places that are going to blow your mind. For example, Meteoria. This place is simply fascinating because the term Meteoria means something. Can anybody help me read that? Let me see. Sister Johnson.
Meteora means suspended in the air or between heaven and earth, a name that perfectly describes the gigantic vertical rock formations that seem to emerge from the earth. These, up to 400 meters high, were formed more than 60 million years ago. More than 60 million years ago due to erosion and tectonic movements.
Mm-hmm. So these houses in vertical formation are truly impressive. Don't worry, we're not going to make you walk there, but you're going to be able to see it once we visit some of this land. Leonidas was one of the famous king of Sparta and is best remembered for his heroic participation in the battle in 480 during the Second Persian War between the Greeks and Persian. One of the places where you're going to see. We're also going to enjoy the Aegean Sea where the water is crystal blue or turquoise. We're going to go to to the island of Patmos, and we're going to go where this guy wrote a book that has his name, 3 letters that has his name, and then he wrote the last book of the Bible. Who am I? Mary Smith.
The Apostle John.
The Apostle John. We're going to go there. We're going to go to a place where they call the Cave of the Apocalypse. It's a popular destination. A lot of pilgrims and tourists interested in Christian history will go there. We're not exactly 100% sure that this is exactly the place where John wrote his letters, but you know, we're going to get close to it, and you can take pictures and put it on your Instagram and say, hey, John says hi. Anyway, the cruise, as you could imagine, contains food for everyone, vegetarian, vegan, carnivore, whatever. This time, this part of the trip is going to be relaxing, right? We're going to be truly chilling 3 days, going from one island to another. And as you can see, the water is just simply beautiful. Question for you guys, just to blow your mind away. How many islands do you think are part of Greece? 2,000, 6,000, or 10,000? The answer may blow your mind. You can put it on the chat if you want. How many islands are in the area of Greece? Wow, nobody wants to take a swing? Okay. A lot of people are putting 10,000. One person put 6,000, and 6,000 is the correct answer. Yeah. Anyway, either of the number, 2,000, 6,000, and 10,000, is still a very large number. We're not going to visit all of them, but we're going to visit the main one. The point of the matter is you're going to have a good time. The weather is usually very good towards the end of October, beginning of November. And right now, I would like to open the floor. Please raise your hand if you have any questions about this trip. Some of the basic questions that people ask is how long is the trip? The trip is 11 days. You guys are responsible to meet us in Athens. Once you're in Athens, we will take care of you. Okay? And you don't have to worry about anything after that. Do I need a visa to travel to Greece? No. At the moment, for this year, there is no visa requirement to travel to Greece. Maybe next year, because the European Union postponed the whole visa thing. What is the weather like in the month of October? The weather is 18 degrees Celsius, which is 64 Fahrenheit, all the way to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And if it's sunny, it's going to feel a lot warmer. The southern part of Greece tend to be slightly warmer, especially in the islands where we're going to be in the cruise. What currency is used in Greece? Since Greece is part of the European Union, it's going to be the euro. You don't necessarily need to exchange money before your trip, as ATMs are widely available, and also most places accept a credit card. We highly do not recommend using debit card, because once you lose it, nothing can be done. How much walking will this trip involve? Is this trip suitable for all fitness level? If you have limited mobility, some sites may be challenging due to uneven terrain and stairs. A walking cane or a trekking pole may be helpful. Or you can stay in the bus or stay at the cruise. For average fitness levels, as long as you're comfortable walking 1 to 3 miles per day with breaks, you should be fine. We're not going to walk 1 to 3 miles in one scoop. We're talking about the overall trip, stopping in different places. For those who prefer minimal walking, some locations allow for bus drop-off close to the sites, and you can skip certain uphill portions if you want. Do I need any vaccination to travel to Greece? No. No special vaccinations are required for traveling to Greece. If you're coming from the US, however, the CDC and WHO remembers that travelers be up to date with their routine vaccine with measles, chickenpox, and flu, which are seasonal. All right. This video will be available on YouTube, and we ask you and beg you to please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification. And also, we want you to tell your friends about our channel and about the free tour that we have recorded there, the free Bible tour. Okay, this is it, friends. Does anybody have any questions about the trip? Everything is as clear as mud. Barbara.
Yes, Brother Stalin, how much is it for the round trip?
Okay, that is a very good question. I was going to go there right now. Give me 1 second. Let me stop sharing. And let me stop the presentation. Give me 1 second because I don't remember. I cannot stop this. Great, Stalin. Great. Okay, let's. Okay, fine. Okay, friends, I'm going to share. Oh, now you want to do it. I'm going to share my screen so that you can get the information that you're looking for. You're going to go to myglobaltours.com. And wow, this is slow. And we're going to go to Egypt in May, but you are interested in the trip to Greece, and we're going to have a trip to Punta Cana this year. So let me go to the Greece. For double occupancy is 3,865, and this includes 11 days, and part of those 11 days are the cruise is included. If you're traveling by yourself, it's 5,300 per person. Okay, let me see. Anybody else? Anybody else has a question? Casey or Caleb?
So my question is, when you get back, will you be doing a tour of all the pictures? Because we will not be able to go.
Yeah, you know how we roll. We take a ton. What I show you today was just videos, stock photos. But when we get back, we will have a full virtual tour with all of our adventures with all the friends. Rosie West, she's asking, what is the name of the hotel in Athens? Also the name of the cruise line. Rosie, I'll be glad to send you that information via email if you send me an email, because I don't have that information right here. So I'm going to put the email address for you friends to actually ask your questions. Anybody else? Anybody else have questions about this trip? Sister Johnson.
My question is, are all of the participants witnesses or?
Yes.
Okay, so if I had nobody to go with and I chose to roommate, it would be somebody that's a witness.
Yes, we will help you find a roommate that doesn't snore. But if you snore, we can help you find someone that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, we can. We have. Let me show you. If you go to our website, there's going to be an area here called Roommate Match Program. You click here and we will connect you to other single sisters that are traveling to us to Greece and that they need or they're looking for a roommate. Well, friends, if there aren't any more questions, let's stop the share. Let's stop the streaming.